Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the Thin Crust Flopcast.
Hello.
And, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a rather interesting episode. We have a rather interesting few topics, and, well, I think suffice to say, there's going to be a bit of Larian Studios talk,
Yee.
as found by my lovely co-host, ladies and gentlemen, as always joined by a wonderful friend. We have Damo.
What's up?
Ah. So, obviously we're starting just a few minutes earlier than we normally do, but that's because I've decided, you know what, I could do the usual 10-minute thing, but I'm just going to wait until the ad break actually ends, then we're going to kick off.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Plus also it makes it a bit easier for editing as well.
Right, honestly. I say this as I don't even upload my VODs to YouTube, but it's neither here nor there.
You get the general idea though.
I get the consensus, yes.
So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, as you know what we do, it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. It is what the fuck you been playing? So, Damo, what the fuck you been playing?
I've been playing Dragon's Dogma 2, Persona 3 Reload, because that's on the Xbox Game Pass, Baldur's Gate 3, obviously, because that's mainly what I'm doing on stream. Including an honor mode run now on a Sunday at night with one of my friends, Sol, and now with another one of our friends, Suki, so that's interesting. Who knew one failed attempt at an intimidation check against Karga would land us to killing Karlak?
The pain is real right now. The pain is real.
Yes.
Best girl just
Pain
got.
is very real.
Best girl dead.
Yes, because we also failed a persuasion check. So, yes,
Ugh.
sort of thing. So it wasn't great. It was very sucky.
Well,
It was very sad.
when I saw Shadowheart running around, I wait, where's Karlak? Surely at this point you
Right?
guys would have had Karlak. What's going on?
Yeah, honestly,
Oh.
it sucked balls. Like it was just big sad,
Oh man. But it is honor mode, so.
Yeah, anything can happen, quite literally.
When they say anything can happen on a live stream, folks, then literally that is so true.
Tell me about it, honestly.
Uh,
I also played a bit of Dead Island 2 because I've just installed that for the DLC.
yeah. Have you
So you
tried
guys
the
might...
Have you tried the DLC yet, or?
No, because obviously it doesn't get saved onto like a little cloud system. I have to start from the very beginning again. So.
Well,
Yeah.
if at some point when you do get your hands onto playing the DLC, give us a rundown on the next episode,
Yeah, no, that's not a problem.
because I'd be very interested to hear it and see what it's actually all about, and if it's actually worth getting as well.
Honestly, genuinely, I hope it's actually worth it. Because obviously back when I got it initially on my PC, I did get it with Season Pass.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's just one of them, really.
Yeah, because
But you never know, you might see me streaming the game at some point again.
Well, I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah. What else have I been playing? Been playing a little bit of Among Us as well, a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah.
A bit of the
I'm
old
still shit at being the imposter.
bit of the old sussy Barker, and then there's me able to bullshit an entire lobby.
Right, everybody knew straight away when it was me. Like, I just about got one kill in, and I turned around, and I'm like, ah, shit, I've been caught.
See, what I do. Bit of advice. What I do is I wait a few rounds and prove to several people that I'm innocent. Then, because I can be trusted then to be left on my own, or be around other people, and then they won't be paying too much attention to me, so I can quickly just go do 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 stab do 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 do. The only time I would recommend just going off on a mad killing spree early on is if you're confident enough and you know the map well enough, as well as the people you're playing with.
Yeah.
That's why playing with randoms is actually rough, because you can't like work out the general idea of where they're going. Granted, the mass populace that play the game have a tendency to go to a set route. That's usually in your basic map. Obviously, it's down, do security cards, get in admin, get that done, and then you move on.
Yeah.
I go elsewhere. I tend to do that like second or third, so
That's understandable.
yeah.
And then, yeah,
bit
I
of
played
advice.
I appreciate that. And I also played a bit of Lethal Company as well. So yeah, that's about it really. Game's been a big distraction gaming for me at the moment.
Had someone actually in my chat the other day asking if I knew anyone that was actually looking to jump in to do some Lethal Company. It was DX.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were at the time they were looking for people to play, and I think you were busy at the time. Because I wasn't sure, like, because they were like, oh, who should I ask in the server? It's like, I think everyone I know that plays the game is actually either offline or busy at this point in time. So
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, my advice to that would be, like, you may as well just ask, because you know you won't really know the answer until you ask. And what's the worst I could say is, no, I'm busy, sorry.
Yeah, true enough. Because they were planning on doing a modless lobby.
Ah, okay, yeah.
It's like modded or modless. Because that's like the determining factor for I've noticed for quite a few people. It's like, oh, is it modded? Yeah. Oh, I'll join. If it's vanilla, then people don't seem to be down for playing vanilla as much.
Well, I don't mind playing vanilla, to be fair.
It's just weird because it's like, literally, Lethal Company is still not actually even fully released yet, is it?
No, it's not.
So it's still in beta, and yet people are actually having more fun modding it, with more fun with the mods. So it's like, yo, Lethal Company devs, maybe grab some of those mods and implement them completely into the game.
Right.
Maybe, you know. Yes, inventor. Memes. means I'm probably going to actually get a shit ton of pictures in a minute.
Probably, honestly.
That's usually what it means when he comes in.
But yeah, like I said, gaming at the minute has been a pretty good distraction for me currently.
Yeah.
With my IRL bullshit. So.
Yeah, all things considered. Don't
all
laugh,
things
inventor.
Yeah.
Don't laugh, inventor. Fuck you.
But yeah, that's literally all I've been doing really. What I've been playing over the last couple of weeks. What about you?
Well, me, I've actually kind of been dallying in quite a few bit of different games, especially those you saw my stream the other day on the random game. Obviously, did some old school Ape Escape, which was fun, especially when I had to fucking do a tablespoon of fucking mayo.
Oof.
Operate my controller using my sword. Not a euphemism, I've actually got a toy sword. I feel like I have to stay there every time because people know how bad I can be.
Yeah, understandable.
We save that kind of content for a completely different site. Yeah, I've also been playing the other game that I played on that stream, Anno Mutation, and the story's actually really, really getting good.
Nice.
From dealing with scumbags to people that have started to essentially mutate into like robots through some sort of mechanical virus. Which is like very interesting. It's like, huh. Also dealing with various like mutated monsters as well. Had giant like slugs with teeth come at me.
Lovely.
Which was fun. Yeah, the story's definitely getting more interesting. And I now have I guess you could say like a devil trigger type thing for the character, where she kind of goes batshit. As like,
okay.
And I'm hesitant to use it because it's like, knowing games like these, if you use a certain thing too many times, it might alter the ending. And I'm like, do I go all out with it and just use the ability, or do I hold off? It's like, ooh, this could be interesting. Obviously, I've been hitting the Star Rail train and actually building up Acheron. I've got a pretty good build for it at the minute with crit rate at 70% and crit
Nice.
damage 110%. Although I have seen people with higher crit damage. I just need some better relics for it. So, let's see what else. Obviously, Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission. Been doing some of that, and Christ alight. Some Xenoverse 2 as well. Been tiptoeing around that, especially those of you that saw the stream. I think it was either last week or the week before, where I actually grew hair.
Okay.
Yeah, transformation besides Super Saiyan 3, they gave me hair. Yeah, gave me hair and red eyes. It's like, whoa. Also, you've got a bit of Bayonetta 3 done.
Nice. I was around for that.
Yep.
I think for a bit of it.
Yes, you were. To the point where you even saw me kind of break the game temporarily. Definitely enjoying that. I'm definitely going to be doing more of that on stream, just for a couple of reasons. One, I'm enjoying it, and two, Kiwi still wants to see it, and he threatens me if I complete it without him being around. Gotta beware the deadly Kiwi. He might attack me again in Super Smash Bros. Or I might get blue shelled out the arse again on fucking Mario Kart. Little bastard. Oh. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been. That's kind of really been all I've been up to, and yep, surprise, surprise, there's the fucking memes. I just got a notification and 3 from Inventor.
Naturally.
Yes. So, we can easily talk about some of the games that we've been playing for ages, or we can actually crack on. So I think we should crack on.
Yeah,
So, kind of a return to a topic that we covered a couple of times last year, and that would be Overwatch 2's profanity policy. Now, obviously, we reported on it last year in regards of a college student who possibly was about to lose his scholarship due to him getting banned for profanity when all he did was call out a teammate's name.
Yeah.
Well, the profanity policy is back in the news again.
Oh, here we go. What's happened now?
Overwatch 2's ban system is being rightfully criticised by the community for attempting to gaslight players into believing simple swear words have never been allowed. And that's a load of bullshit. And this is coming from Dexerto. And I have looked into this, and it is, again, a true thing, unfortunately, that the profanity seems to be going off again. The Overwatch 2 community is livid at Blizzard's response to a pro player who had been banned for writing curse words in chat. Something that, until very recently, didn't seem to be a problem. So, before I continue, now I want to ask your opinion on this one, Damo.
Okay.
Does this not seem like very selective banning? Because it's like, if it's an issue for one person, yeah, not an issue for another, what the hell is even a point of this policy if you're not even going to follow through and make sure that everyone who does curse in chat then doesn't suffer the same price?
Exactly, and the thing is as well, there are loads of ways of getting around that. So even if it was like an auto mod thing that they implemented, there's so many ways of getting around, like, you know, with swear words and stuff like that. So it's kind of like it should just be everyone's treated the same. Like, you swear, like, you know, take it back to the Club Penguin days. The second you swore, boom, you got insta banned for a week.
But then also, like, there's the same, because Activision Blizzard's like exactly well, Call of Duty, literally, if you literally have the chat open for it, you will be hearing if you literally have the thing on where you can hear the people in game, you are going to be hearing all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Not to mention the amount of shit that they also type in the chat as well. So I can't see why Overwatch 2's got a more harsher profanity policy than Call of Duty, where there's way worse on there.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, I'm kind of lucky in a way in terms of Call of Duty lobbies, at least like as I got older, because the most I would be told is to go in the kitchen and make them a sandwich, or I would basically get told because I'm a girl gamer, they're not gonna revive me and shit like that because they don't want a girl on their squad and shit. Like, you know, obviously apart from the whole thing that they come out at that point, that was also another reason why I kind of stopped playing it, because I was just like, I can't be bothered at this point.
Yeah. Well.
But to that grandpa that was waiting for their grandson to come online, not that you'll ever probably see this, you are a godsend. Like, one of the only times I've only been okay with, like, gaming with a random, and it was, like, this old dude that was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for my grandson, how you guys been? Oh, you play this too? This is so awesome.
Aww.
Like, you know, me and my mate at the time, we carried him, you know, and he helped carry us. Like, he was a good medic to the squad, and I forgot to add him on PlayStation at that point because I forgot how to use the whole fucking, like, friend request thing. I would have loved to have bumped into him again. He was absolutely lovely, but the rest of the time I played it, obviously this is before we also played it more together and stuff like that through Yuri.
It's a toxic piece of shit, yeah.
It really is, and it's just like...
That's why if we ever play the game, we make it so we can't hear the randoms, because we don't want to have to deal with that shit.
Exactly. So, but I also can't be bothered for it to bloat my computer or anything else in between. So
yeah, fucking way too much for installation for literally next to nothing. Anyway,
right.
In a X thread, I can't believe I'm actually saying that. That's how they've written it. In an X thread about Mason Dupree Cooney's, apologies for the butchering of that name, month-long suspension. The official Blizzard customer support account claimed, the filter is for those who wish to use it, but profanity has never been allowed in our games. It reported if reported, absolutely actionable. Fucking bullshit on that one.
Tell me about it, honestly.
Blizzard's decision to crack down on all profanity is definitely worthy of criticism, considering the game's teen rating. While slurs and harassment are another story completely, simply swearing is just common online. Banning people for just saying shit or fuck, as well as was the case here, is just over the top. Could easily poke other ways in regards of it, but they're looking to ban all forms of profanity, literally even in their chat, then I guess fair enough. But at that point, you got to make sure that it's actually profanity, not just some random words or a person's name. It's not clear if there's some miscommunication between Blizzard's social media managers and the devs and staff reviewing ban appeals. But there needs to be some transparency about what is and isn't allowed, because historically, this hasn't been the case and the community knows it. Former Overwatch League caster ZP took aim at Blizzard's stance, accusing the company of gaslighting players who have never experienced enforcement like this in 7 years. Historically, players were absolutely not banned for garden variety profanity, ZP said. Gaslighting people who have played the game for 7 years at this point is an awful fucking look. And yes, that is apparently a direct quote. Content creator Nyan Socks, love that name, even compared Blizzard's actions to George Orwell's 1984, where a totalitarian state replaced written history to better suit their agenda. Getting political on that one. Changing the rules on the fly to suddenly ban players for minor offences is just ridiculous, especially when there is no prior warning. To act like this policy has always been in place is just insulting to those who have been loyal to Overwatch since its release. And trust me folks, it's hard to find people who are truly loyal to Overwatch these days. And not really anything against Overwatch, more against the people behind it that have ruined the game. To justify its decision, Blizzard pointed to the first section of its in-game code of conduct, which states, and I quote, "You may not use language that could be offensive or vulgar to others." Motherfucker, if you look at some of the characters that are in your game, some of them are openly gay, and that is offensive to... There are some people that are stupid enough to be offended by that, but they are still offended by that regardless. You're gonna ban people for that? You ban characters for being offensive? Maybe you have a better idea on what is considered offensive and what isn't. Or better yet, do some reading. To justify its decision, Blizzard pointed to the first section of its in-game... I already read that bit. For some reason they got it written twice. That's all incredibly subjective, and to make matters worse, Blizzard even suggests that swearing would only be actionable if a report is filed. Fuck off! So, explain then why someone actually received a ban several months ago for calling out a team member and saying sheesh or nice shot and GG. Is that bannable? Is that reportable? Or are you guys just not paying attention and just literally going with yes, no, and whatever tickles your fancy at the time? Contradictory marker going off on this one. If it's not allowed, why even present the veneer of it being acceptable by allowing people to choose exposure to that kind of language from beyond the default safety filters? Remark fan favourite caster Leg Day. Love that name, Leg Day.
Right.
I wonder what thing he favours during the gym. Or sorry, they, because I don't know if it's a guy or girl. Twitch streamer Kepri, I haven't known that name for a bit, was confused by why Overwatch 2 has a filter to begin with. If profanity as a whole is not acceptable and is actionable, the filter should not be adjustable and should be mandated with absolutely no input from the player, he said. Yeah, very good point. There's a filter. What's the fucking point in... You know? Jeez, there are some games that actually have it, so so you can adjust when the profanity filter is on or off. Fucking Among Us has it, for God's sake.
Yep.
Do you want to see like curse words or not? Yes or no, basically. It's that simple. I'm sorry, if someone's got the profanity filter off and they see someone cursing and they then report that, I'm sorry, that's not on the player. I'm sorry, that's not on the person they're reporting. That's then on them because they've taken offence to it. Now, obviously, what I could say... Now, obviously, that could be taken in multitude of ways, but I will say this, and I believe Damon can back me up on this. If you're saying any sexist or racist terminology, that is then just straight up just no. Because I'm pretty sure even in that case, there's no getting out of it. But Blizzard should be picking that up immediately and then just dealing with that straight up. Because, like, again, being sexist and racist to the nature that you can sometimes hear in these types of games is, like when Damo had that issue on Call of Duty, as stated earlier, like, if they actually paid attention to this shit, because technically you could have easily reported them for what they would say and then sent over the footage to them.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But knowing this lot, they wouldn't actually do anything. This is hardly the first time.
That's why I just kind of laugh about it, to be honest. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, it is a fucking joke at this point. It's like I just look at when I see reports of this, how their profanity filter just seems to keep fucking up in some way or fashion, or their ban policy is stupid. I'm just looking at them and like, fix your own shit in house first before you then come after everyone else. It's like, we're not the ones that actually encouraged a company to actually have people running a frat house type nature. Once everyone else is in-house is actually perfectly fine and safe, then sort out the other shit. Until then, you got no right to actually say shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, this is hardly the first time Blizzard Overwatch 2's bans have sparked controversy, as we've documented. Players have been banned for typing GG, Yippee, and nice shot. One player even risked losing his college scholarship for writing out his teammate's name. Is exactly what we reported on as well last year. How Blizzard's going to about things right now isn't a good look. It's time for either game director Aaron Keller and executive producer Jared Nias to get involved and set the matter straight, or make some serious changes to how and why bans are implemented. Well, they would, but they're too busy actually making it so, people are, paying out like 30 quid for about 3 or 4 story missions on Overwatch.
Fuck that.
Yeah, literally. That is one of the things. Like, they've literally went out of their way to say, we're not going to include like the PvE mode anymore. Several months later, we're having a PvE mode. You're going to pay for it though. If you want to take part, in it for a few months, you got to buy the season pass. If you want to play the PvE missions permanently, you got to buy these packs.
Honestly.
So yeah, I think maybe they should think about less ways they can actually, steal money from their players and their fans, and maybe think about making a game and actually sticking to what they're claiming, and make it actually worth paying for. Because apparently it's like 30 quids, and you get you get enough coins for the season pass, and about 2 or 3 missions for that season. So you have to wait for basically the entire season to end before you get the next load of story. And apparently, from what I've been hearing, it's not even that good either. If you guys don't want to do fucking story, then why the hell do you create a game that's actually got a shit ton of lore?
Well.
Now, granted, that's not on the current team. They've just fucked up. The previous team that actually helped create Overwatch and actually make it a great game when it came out, they're probably really upset. They're probably really upset that this has happened. Fuck's sake, phone. Shut up. No, I don't want a job that's like 20 miles away from me. Fuck off. So, but what do you think, David? Like, is this ban policy now, the fact that it's again causing a level of controversy on this scale, do you think it needs do you think they maybe need to tweak it a little bit to actually do properly, or do you think they just need to scrap it and then redo everything from the ground up at this point?
I mean, I'm not an Overwatch fan, but they might just have to redo it.
Well, it doesn't have to be like an Overwatch fan. It's literally a case of because obviously, as I've stated, we've covered this a couple of times now, and it's like when it's literally pretty much just like the same thing. Pretty much, it's like it kind of reminds me of YouTube's report system, copyright report system. It can easily be overly abused, and has been overly abused to the point where no one trusts it. And it's like, at this point, it's going to be a case of, do you report, like, if you see something really bad and you report it, will anything happen, or is it just going to be left?
Well, that's the thing, we just won't really know, to be honest. But I do think that they need to just, at this point, scrap it and redo, because it's just getting beyond a joke.
Yeah. It's just, to be honest, I wish we weren't talking about Overwatch 2 drama in 2024.
Right.
But they can't help themselves look even more stupid than they already do. I honestly did not think that they could look this bad any more than they already did, and yet they keep exceeding my expectations. And my expectations were already pretty low as it was.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like, Come on, guys. Like, Jesus Christ. Helldivers 2 has got better, like, communication than everything else. And Helldivers 2 isn't even made by a AAA dev, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. Like, bro, come on.
Fucking hell, Warframe's got better. This is an actual free game that works. Like, seriously. And I haven't played Warframe in ages, but even I know it's actually good. Jesus. Anyway, Damo.
Yes.
What you got to tickle everyone's fancy?
Let's see.
Let me guess.
I'll start off with this one. No, actually, I'll start off with this one.
I was gonna say, let me guess.
It's from...
Lariat Studios, Baldur's Gate.
No, actually, it's to do with the Fallout stuff.
Ooh, yes.
From Eurogamer.net, Fallout TV show popularity prompts Nexus mods to issue traffic warning.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Issue traffic warning?
Like, in terms of the website, in downloads and stuff.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, so the huge popularity of Amazon Prime's Fallout TV series, which, by the way, I have been watching, and yes, it is good. I'm liking it a lot.
There was actually a lot of concern in regards to that originally, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, and this is the thing. Like, I initially thought, oh, maybe they're kind of like doing like an alternative version to Fallout 4 or something, because obviously you've got dog meat, you've got, you know, like a few other things, and I decided to watch a lore video actually the other night to help try and get me to sleep. Basically, and no, because of the vault specifically in the show actually resembles Fallout 3. Which I was very with, because I didn't understand at that point, because I've played a little bit of Fallout New Vegas. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I was a fan, because I didn't really understand it, don't get me wrong. I love Fallout lore. Like, for years I've watched Oxhorn on YouTube do his lore videos and stuff like that, you know, and it's just chef's kiss basically. You know, so, but other than that, like, I've not really played any of the other Fallout games. I do, however, because I think it was free on Epic at one point, because I know for a fact I did not buy it, like, at all, so just give me a moment. That's recently played, that's not what I want, thank you.
I remember I played Fallout 3, and that was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
And the ending was like real weird. Essentially, the main story ending literally had your character basically sacrifice themselves to stop essentially. I think it was like just waves of liquid nuclear stuff literally spreading throughout the entire country.
Yeah, because I think at one point on the Epic Games Store, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 were free. So I was like, there's no harm in adding that to, you know, my library, because it might pique my interest at some point.
It'd be worth, because New Vegas is actually considered probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, that's what I've been told too. And obviously I didn't really get on with New Vegas when I played it the one time, which was quite a few years ago now. And basically, yeah, it just kind of explains more of the lore in that. But anyway, back onto the topic at hand. So yeah, due to the huge popularity of Amazon Prime's Fallout series, it's causing traffic problems for top mod download website Nexus Mods. Nexus Mods first issued a warning it was experiencing heavy network traffic that could cause a degraded experience last Friday, and the site said it had deployed extra resources twice over the weekend in order to cope with the extra demand, but problems had continued. As of 8 a.m. UK time this morning, so bear in mind this article came out today, okay? Nexus Mods is still continuing to investigate the issue. According to an official status page, the Nexus Mods website, API, CDN, and forum are all currently suffering from a degraded performance. We've seen over the past couple of weeks how the Fallout TV series popularity has had a knock-on effect for the franchise's video games, and in particular Fallout 4. Now, nearly a decade old, Fallout 4's experience has been widely improved by the addition of fan-made modifications to the base experience. There are also newly created tweaks to introduce Fallout TV show elements to Bethesda's games. So yes, but there are also Fallout 4 mods available. So you can play as Lucy or Ghoul, hear music from the TV show, and replace billboards with designs featuring elements from Amazon's episodes.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Mods actually bringing games back to life.
Well, this is just it, and not just that. Obviously, to continue on with the Fallout news as well. Those of you that may remember, if you tuned in, I think it was a good couple of weeks ago now, or maybe even longer than that, probably is, to be honest. Fallout London has been put on hold. They're saying indefinitely, and I just want to quickly explain that because I did watch a YouTube video on it. Now, because of the next gen update for Fallout 4, which by the way is coming to consoles as well.
Oh, really?
The next gen update, yep. Of the 25th.
Oh, the 25th. What, this month?
For the next gen, yes. For the next gen update.
That's real close.
Right. So Fallout London was meant to come out on the 23rd, so tomorrow. Yes, this is Fallout 4.
Yeah.
For Fallout 4 for the next gen. Fallout London is a mod that has taken many, many years to be curated and made. It's currently sitting at between 30 to 40 gigabytes for this mod, which was initially meant to release on St. George's Day tomorrow. But they are having to put an indefinite hold on mod because obviously once the next gen update comes out, the script extender for Fallout 4 will need updating. Until that's been updated, obviously they then can't really test to see what's working, what's not, what needs to be fixed.
Yeah. So it's good. So the chance of actually Fallout London coming out probably won't be at this point. Probably won't be looking until maybe next year.
I'm hopeful to say that not much has been broken in terms of mods and as quick fixes they can do, like implement and stuff like that. But yeah, it is a bit of an indefinite hiatus. So, shout out to all the modders in the community, especially for the script extender. If you could fix that shit straight away, that would be grand. Thank you. I've been waiting for a very long time for this mod.
Hey, at least they're actually playing it smart and not releasing and not releasing it in a broken state. Shout out to them.
Yeah, exactly. They want to make sure it's perfected and everything.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the mod will not be coming to consoles. So I did see something in the official server for Fallout London. Someone mentioned that the Fallout London mod is going to be coming out on Xbox at some point, but I do not know how true that is because it's not one of the server admins and it's not one of the people that works on the mod. And I just kind of want to experience it from a different place, I
was gonna say that sounds like the dude's just wishful thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
When me the first time,
wait, and not PlayStation, and they were like, "Yeah, dude, bro, please don't potentially spread misinformation," So I've been keeping an eye on that.
Hey, at least they said Xbox instead of the Switch.
Well, I'd be.
Could you imagine how buggy that shit would have been?
Right.
Well, don't get me wrong, the Switch is a good bit of kit, as I keep saying, but fucking hell.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, and where it stands right now with all the DLC, and I only figured this out because I actually bought Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition for my friend Steph. Sort of thing. So when it's ready, it's all like, oh yeah, go on, go play, yeah. Sort of thing. Because it is one of my favourite games, Fallout 4. I'm not going to deny that. And I know a lot of people do not like Fallout 4, but for me, I prefer that over the, some of the older ones, like Fallout New Vegas. But then that's just my opinion. Sort of thing. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the next gen update, so I will be reinstalling that. And as it stands with the DLC, it is around about, give or take, 90 gigabytes. I only found this out because Steph doesn't have room on their computer to install it.
If you wish for Fallout London to come onto your console, then go to the cash store, open up your wallet, and pay $5,676.
But that's just Fallout 4 on its own with the DLC. Is like it's 90 gig, whereas I remember back then it was not 90 gig.
Well, yeah, considering the amount of fucking graphical updates and stuff they've had to put on, it does not surprise me. Like, considering everything in order to actually get it running properly, because you can't just have it running can't have basically the same files and that and have it running perfectly fine on new gen systems. It does not work like that. You have to make sure, because otherwise it won't recognize it, and then it just won't run. Period. I think that's the one thing that that's one thing a lot of people don't quite get when it comes to porting onto newer gen consoles or newer gen systems. You can't. That's the reason why it takes a while for some of the really old games to actually make an appearance on more recent systems or more recent operating systems, like on PC and stuff. Because it takes a while to be able to actually have the right programming in the game to actually operate and to be recognized.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been so many bugs with the game that people have had to try and find fixes through mods and stuff, because it's chunky. It chugs a lot. Like, remember when I played it with like barely any mods, and it was chugging. It was being really weird. Even on vanilla, it was being really weird. And that's actually because what they've done in the coding. Obviously, I hope they fix this. Like, you know, it's fixed when that next gen update comes out. I'm gonna give it a couple of days though, because I don't want it to blue screen like Witcher 3 next gen update did. I can't afford a panic attack like that right now. I just want to play video games, you know.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But you know, to make sure it's all smooth and stuff.
Not gonna lie, Damo, if I were you, in regards of it, I would give it maybe a week or two, because then you know for a fact that definite patches and stuff will have come out.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on like Discord servers with other people that play it and stuff on PC.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, because like I said, I don't want that shit happening ever again. Like, that was something I'd never seen in my life before, like, ever. And I used to be the type of kid to, like, get music from live, like, I think it's like LimeWire or something, like, you know, that it was called, and it was always, like, bringing in viruses and doing shit. Dude, mate, yeah, that's my childhood. I remember giving my dad a really bad virus on the computer once, and it wasn't, like, my laptop. Like, I wasn't 12 yet, okay? So I didn't have my own laptop. I had to use the family computer.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And this is when we were living in Wales. And
I
basically wanted to get, like, I think it was, like, an Akon song or something like that. Like, through LimeWire, and I downloaded it, put it onto my MP3 at the time, because I had like one of the cheap little MP3s that you could get, you know, like the really small like amount of memory on it, like MP3s, because it was the cheapest you can get.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's
and it came with a shit ton of like fucking viruses and stuff, and I got into so much trouble over that. And I was like, yeah, but LimeWire is usually fine. Like, I don't know why it's done it.
Not gonna lie, I find it funny. Look, I remember back in my early college days, everyone else was running around with MP3s and stuff. I'm there walking around with a CD player. Walk around a CD player, like a little specific folder for holding CDs. I'd actually just walk around with that. I'd just be like, do. Oh, time to swap CDs. Let's get my bag down.
But yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to the next gen update, to be honest, because they have mentioned there's going to be a shit ton of fixes and stuff.
Keep us updated on that one.
Oh, 100%. If anything, you'll probably end up catching me streaming it on a day I don't normally stream, because, you know, I got to try and do something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that. As well.
I believe that's that on the Fallout.
That is that on the Fallout, yeah.
Alright, my turn. Alright. So, this is kind of your childhood, Damo.
Yeah, this is my childhood. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Club Penguin.
There's my childhood / adolescence. I was playing Club Penguin, just to clarify,
until
I was about 14.
That's a lot of people's. It was recently made note that Club Penguin turns 19 this year. Yep. Club Penguin was made public on October 24th, 2005.
Yep.
And it then shut down. Didn't it actually shut down?
Yes, it did. I think someone made
7 years ago, wasn't it?
something like that. And then it got revived, like the IP got revived.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
like you didn't have to pay for anything. It was one
yeah,
of
it was
those
like rewritten. Then brought it. Then it was like rewritten, and then that was shut down
yeah.
on April 13th, 2022.
Yep.
I'm looking at this. Apparently, it was rewritten was shut down on April 13th, 2022, by the City of London Police in compliance with a copyright investigation requested by Disney.
Despite the fact that Club Penguin IP had been completely shut down.
Hasn't, like, I swear I've seen some people actually still playing another form of Club Penguin.
Let me just Google that real quick.
Because it's like, well, didn't they actually have like a little DS game or something like that?
They did, yes. That's when they started releasing their merchandise with the puffles, and basically one of the accounts that I had that was literally indefinitely like banned. You know, because I didn't know like how serious money was at the time. I was like a little itty bitty child, and I was like, you know, oh, dad's card. To get a membership, so I had all the puffles instead of just the 2 generic free ones you can get.
Yeah.
Basically, if you were a non-member, and yeah, they had a DS game which gave you a code to use to redeem online, you know, for the actual Club Penguin website, and that's, like I said, that's when I started releasing the merchandise, like such as the puffles. I do believe I still have the red puffle in my cupboard somewhere, because a friend gave 2 of them to me like a few years ago, and I've never gotten rid of them because that's like my core childhood right there. Also, as well, there is a website.
Yeah, like I'm going through like obviously the tweet about this. Like I miss Club Penguin, 10 out of 10 game, the good old days. Someone's even actually got their Club Penguin the Card Jutsu handbook.
Oh, I remember that.
I never actually played Club Penguin, so I literally have to rely on like other people's like other people's like stuff on it.
Yeah, so you've got newcp.net, where you can download the app to go and play. You've also got play.cplegacy.com.
I'm
You've
sorry.
also got...
I'm sorry, no, but this is one of the tweets. All right, this game has had more lenient cursing policies than Blizzard Entertainment and Play Overwatch.
Honestly, yeah, like, genuinely. But yeah, you've even got, like, cplegacy.com. Like, so there's a lot of... Well, there's a few sandbox editions, which I'm very surprised at.
Jesus.
You know, and I would love to go back and play it, just to like have that nostalgia, you know.
Yeah. So, what would you say is your most fond memory of Club Penguin?
Oh, okay, I've got a few.
Then do please share.
One of them was so it was basically before all the updates came out, and it was the little pizza like restaurant you can go into, and I just loved making the pizzas because you got coins from that to go and spend on things, and that's like literally just before they came out with the membership side of things as well. You know, and again, like the puffles as well, because you just see like get all the ingredients done, you had to start doing quickly and stuff like that, and it was just a really good game, like little mini game I could play. There was also the infamous nightclub you can go into, you know, with that mini game as well, and then the ninjutsu one, like the ninja when that came out, I was
Card
like,
Jutsu.
yes, mate, yes, come on, bring that, you know. And I also liked the fact that it was one of those where it's quite, at the time, before you were actually able to just like type in a message, you had to have like, you had no option, but it was just, hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. Cool. Like, you know, so it was very like very well protected at time, for me. And then I gotta say, like honestly, just genuinely not just chatting to the people on there, but it was like dressing up your penguin, you know, and just getting the puffles. Like, genuinely, I'd have to say the puffles were my favorite bit because you had like so many colors when they were like, they brought the rest of them out, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, yes. Because I did end up making another account, basically, clearly, because
You can,
my
you can, you can,
Toshiko. I can tell you the username as well because it was the same username I had for everything back then. That account was Toshiko12.
you can keep you can keep one account of Demos out of Club Penguin, but you can't keep Club Penguin out of Demo.
Pretty much, and
Alright,
I played
so
this till I was about like 14,
I
15.
think I think I can kind of gather what this answer will be. So if Disney were to announce the revival of Club Penguin, but they had more of a paywall for some stuff, would you go for it still?
Oh, honestly, just for nostalgic purposes, I probably would.
Because you know for a fact that obviously I've been seeing a lot of people saying revive this, revive this, revive this, revive this
Yeah.
IP, and it's like, but you know that's the direction they would go.
Oh, 100% they would, yeah. Like, honestly, they would definitely. I would probably do it just to have that nostalgia trip, like,
Alright,
once.
question. Because obviously you can guarantee there wouldn't be like a free game, a free to play game.
Of course not.
So, in your eyes, what do you reckon would be like the best price for a Club Penguin revival? How much would you find?
Well, like, as in if they released it as a game, you could like download through Steam, sort of situation.
Basically, yeah. Kind of like, how much would you say you'd be willing to pay? Because yeah,
probably at most 15, 20 quid. I'm not gonna lie, because there was so much you could do on that game. Like, honestly, there was so much that you could do on that game. I couldn't even tell you all the things that they like ended up putting on there because there's so much.
Because
like,
obviously,
such a small little like penguin world, you know.
The reason, obviously, why I ask is obviously with Activision Blizzard, they did World of Warcraft Classic. They basically just brought the old shit in, which like seemed kind of pointless if you ask me. But so I'm like asking, like, obviously in regards of revivaling the IP, like how much work do you reckon it would be for them to actually revive it? And do you think it would be a good financial business deal for them to do something like that?
Honestly, in terms of it being a good financial deal, I would say very 50-50. Because of the way, like, depending on how they do it. So, in terms of, like, you know, obviously getting it all to work on multiple browsers that you can, like, you know, that you can use to play it on.
Yeah.
But if it was like, as if it was like a game sort of situation you get through Steam, then they'd obviously have to go through and rework not all just like the graphical side of things, but the coding. So, honestly, very 50-50. It could genuinely go either way when it comes to revival. I think you and I both know that, like, more than
Considering, then, what do you reckon the chances are that maybe if it were to get revived, the only console there's a chance it would probably go to might possibly be the Switch?
Oh, I'd be playing that shit like there's no tomorrow. I don't care.
No, I don't. Obviously, it's not a case of if you've been playing it. I'm saying, like, what do you reckon the chances are that if they were...
the chance of it,
Yeah.
like, going on the Switch, very high chance, considering, obviously, you know, they had a literal DS game. So that is very much a high possibility of it going to the Switch if they were able to do that, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Wins the lottery, goes over to Disney. So, I've got a proposition for you guys. And I think it's going to make you guys quite a lot of money. Club Penguin. Everyone in the room just rolls their eyes. Not this again.
And then you just be like, Davo?
No. What I would do is I'd basically get word that's like, right, I want everyone online to basically essentially sign this petition to revive Club Penguin. Proceeds to get over 5 million. Right, boom.
The likelihood is very much alive on that front, yeah.
So
and
say,
the thing is,
so say if everyone that signed the petition, in order for that extra, if it would have actually agreed, they would have to agree then to put maybe like $5.
Yeah, I don't see.
Do you think that would actually be? Do you think that would actually be good incentive for on both sides then?
Yeah.
Like obviously, because obviously then increase the chance of it actually then going through, because then they would actually, because then Disney would then actually then see dollar signs, but then also a lot of people that actually then sign the petition, there's a chance they would actually get maybe early access.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Alright, Club Pink. God damn it, better. So, so it's no surprise that the internet definitely wants to see Club Penguin again.
No surprise at all, honestly.
That's-
So you got to think, like, unlike the newer online sort of games like that nowadays.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I'm not saying Club Penguin was like foolproof at all, and I'm not sitting here and saying like, oh, it was the best in terms of protecting everyone, but
no, this is
was one of the most safest places you could have gone on the internet.
I don't think it's a case of safety. What I think also is one thing that I don't think you see a lot of are free to play online games these days, and that's rich coming from me. The reason why I believe Club Penguin did so well, and granted I never played Club Penguin, but just based on I've heard several testimonies from people, yourself included. The reason why I felt that Club Penguin actually did so well and actually continues to be a very talked about subject, especially in regards of its revival, is because it did the one thing that most games don't do these days. And that is be memorable.
Yeah.
Be a place people can actually go to. Be a place that people can actually meet up in. Be a place that people can actually have fun in. And not have to worry about god-awful people, not have to worry about predators or anything like that. People could actually go there and actually have fun. Just pure, innocent fun. Which is something you don't see often these days.
Exactly.
I think that's
it's
why...
the one website I actually felt safe growing up.
Because that's based on what I've been seeing, and it's like, it's kind of hard to deny literally so many statements from both people I know and people I don't. Literally saying almost pretty much the same thing, that I actually had that experience. Hell, even Geo has actually had fun on Club Penguin. I've seen Geo talk about Club Penguin. Like, Geo and some of her lot have actually like thoroughly enjoyed it. So, it'd be kind of hard to deny the influence of Club Penguin, not to mention how memorable it seemed to have been for something so simple as well. Just on an outsider's perspective, it looks pretty simple, and yet that's sometimes all it takes. It's something simple and straightforward to actually sometimes capture the imagination of an entire generation.
100%.
Like, there'll be Call of Duties, there'll be Final Fantasies, there'll be all sorts of fucking different IPs. But the reason why some of those names will actually stand out is because they did something most are struggling to do these days, and that's be memorable. Everyone focuses on like replayability, but it's like you have it's all well and good actually having stuff that's makes it replayable, but you have to inspire a want, a drive to keep playing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I'm sorry, the most memorable thing. Yeah, you can be any color penguin you want to be. Waddle waddle, motherfucker. Like, bruh.
Right. So Club Penguin.
Well, I would do to go back in time just to be a fucking purple penguin.
Afterwards, starts looking up Club Penguin revival petition, see if it's actually a thing.
Like I said, there's a few like sandbox versions of them, so technically it is revived, just not officially.
Yeah, I'm talking about official revival.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Because you know for a fact
but it has to be done right.
But the thing is, so that this is where I call into question: what would you consider right? What would you consider doing justice by it? As a fan, what would you?
Was.
But the thing is, is there a possibility that how it was might not work nowadays?
I mean, it's possible it might not work.
Because it's like, it's all well and good. It's all well and good actually literally reliving your childhood, but what happens then when you're done?
I'll end up picking it up again in like 10 years. Good.
I know, but the thing is, it's like, it's all well and good actually taking the effort to revive an IP, and then people to like have maybe about 5-6 months joy of it, and then put it down. There's no point in actually then keeping it going again.
I mean, the one thing that was good about Club Penguin is the events that they did. You know, for both members and non-members, you know, it wasn't just for members and stuff like that. They actually held, and this was like later down the line, bear in mind, when they had all these updates done, but they would hold like certain events. So, you know, the non-members that couldn't wear the member clothes, well, okay, here's an event where you can earn this item, and you don't even have to be a member for it. Like, here, have fun, you know. And that actually for me kept me more invested, because I'll just put it down for like, you know, at the time, like a couple of weeks sort of situation if I weren't really like into it sort of thing, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna play Sims or whatever, because it was either that, IMVU, or Sims, like throughout a lot of my childhood, guys.
Legasp, Sims, IMVU,
right?
Legasp.
I
still can't believe
but
we got
anyway,
10. I still can't believe we got Tenchi on there.
Right? Well, like, you know, and the events kept me going back, like, you know, and it was always different events where, you know, they did events before the ninja part of it came out, and you know, you could earn things through that, and then the ninja thing came out, and you could still earn things through it. Like, you know, they had their little, you know, do this many like tournaments, well, not tournaments, but like, you know, little card games for this, and you can get like this color belt, that color belt, you know, you can get, you know.
So unlike, you see, like, so unlike most free-to-play games where it's like, where there's like a tournament, but it's like for something very menial, they actually had, the tournaments actually held meaning.
Yeah.
The events actually held meaning and actually meant something.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, makes sense. Alright. That's on Club Penguin.
Yes.
I know we can keep going for ages, but I imagine you probably got somewhere to be at some point, so let's crack on.
Yes. Now on to the Baldur's Gate stuff. So, the first one, there's a couple. I think the first one was the studio reveals are working on 2 new projects, as the one that you told me about, right? That you said I could do. Yeah, so this is on GamingBible.com. Baldur's Gate 3 studio reveals they're working on 2 new projects. Baldur's Gate 3 developer Larian Studios is reportedly working on 2 new games through Baldur's Gate, though Baldur's Gate fans will be disappointed. Despite winning 2023's Game of the Year award, selling millions of copies, and genuinely being a perfect game, it seems Baldur's Gate 3 could be the last game in the series at Larian Studios, that is. Developer Larian Studios has hinted at expansions to the game in the past, and occasionally drops a new update with additional features and changes to the quest/gameplay. Unfortunately, though, it seems Hasbro will be shopping the D&D IP around other studios, which means no Larian-made Baldur's Gate 4. With that in mind, Larian Studios has confirmed it has not 1 but 2 new projects currently in the works, both of which will be brand new IPs for the company.
Which is actually quite a surprise, considering like they're actually announcing they've got 2 new projects going. Obviously, it's perfect time to announce obviously something like that, considering we're still in the midst of the Baldur's Gate hype.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting. Can they? Now here's going to be the big question, folks, and I don't want really an answer just yet, Damo. It's just something, just a bit of thought, and everyone that watches this, bit of thought. Now, obviously, with how well Baldur's Gate 3 has done, because this is going to be the tough one for them. Obviously, it's 2 new IPs. Can they match? Obviously not be the same as, because they can never actually replicate. Can they match and continue the hype that Baldur's Gate 3 has generated for the studio? That is going to be the test.
That will definitely be the test.
Because
I
before,
can't sit here and say yes, but I also can't sit here and say no.
Exactly, as I said, I'm not looking for an answer. I'm just looking for people to actually give it some thought. Because this is the test. Most studios you'll see, they'll make a great game, but then they'll start to fold with their next one. With their new IP, because they've not been able to match what they had before. With the experience that these guys have under their belt, there is a chance that they won't be able to match it, but they'll maybe be able to meet it. So, to every fan that's obviously going to be losing their nut and keeping an eye out, just remember, this isn't Baldur's Gate. What's coming is something new. So they might be testing the waters completely. So don't go on a comparison run. Just keep an open eye out. An objective one. Because I know how the community can be sometimes. People can look at... can just look at it with heart-shaped goggles on and be like, oh, yeah, it's for the people that made this. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. They get their hands on it. It's like, oh, this ain't that good. But that's because they've spent too much time doing a comparison. New IP means it's something separate. So,
Yeah.
just give it a look and think of it as something... Obviously, it's the same studio that made Baldur's Gate, but that's where the comparison ends. New IPs means new ideas. And new ideas are sometimes harder to come across. So, what these new IPs are, folks, to my knowledge, because I've also read the article, there's no info on what the new IPs are.
No, but it also does go on to say, while specific details weren't shared, Larian made a community update post on Steam which said, after 6 years in the Forgotten Realms and much discussion and rumination, we've decided to seize this opportunity to develop our own IPs. The post went on to say, we are currently working on 2 new projects and we couldn't be more excited about what the future has in store. But again, there's no telling telling what these new games could entail, though from the sounds of it, Larian doesn't fancy taking on any existing franchise for a D&D style adaptation. A shame, because a Fallout game in the style of Baldur's Gate 3 would be phenomenal, which, to be honest, yeah, I can see that being a thing if that was the case, but also at the same time,
Quick question, Damo.
Work.
Larian is, you spell Larien?
Yeah, Larian, yeah.
A-N, alright, not E-N, alright. So I'm basically, what I'm doing is doing a little new thing for the Flopcast. Like every time we go to a new subject, I then change what it says, so people then who tune in...
Oh, it's A-N, not E-N. Oh, there we go. Sorry, the delay of put your stream up.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a new thing.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know how that would work if it was a, Baldur's Gate 3 style Fallout game. Definitely would be different.
Here's the thing. This is where that could easily fall flat. One name in particular, right? Because obviously there'll be guns, right?
Yep.
One name in particular would come in a question on this one. XCOM.
There you go, point.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
See, when you hear a Baldur's Gate style type of shooter, that's what I mean. Obviously with XCOM, obviously there's no D&D shit, but you'd have to imagine that there would be some bullshit of XCOM level at points.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you got a shotgun right in your face. Roll for advantage. Rolls a natural 1. You completely missed. Or the gun completely backfires. So, it could work. They would just have to be very careful not to make it as difficult as XCOM.
Yeah.
So, obviously it's quite hopeful, but at the same time, they're not looking to take on existing. And plus, considering the hype surrounding, obviously, the Fallout TV series, it would not be a good idea.
Yes.
Because if they were to do something like that, it would possibly be seen as a quick cash grab, because obviously the hype that's going on and surrounding currently. So,
which actually brings me on to the next article, actually. To do with Baldur's Gate.
Segway!
This is on PC Gamer Insider Biz. Larian Boss says Baldur's Gate 3 effect sucks. The head of Baldur's Gate 3 maker Larian Studios, when Vinsky, he has said he wasn't happy with some of the more negative effect the game's launch had on other titles. Speaking to GamesIndustry.biz, the development chief lamented what was dubbed Baldur's Gate 3 effect, whereby the eagerly anticipated RPG dominated the market, leaving little room for both AAA blockbusters and indie releases. It sucks, Finsky admitted. Now, I can say if I remember correctly, I did actually see this somewhere on Twitter as well, on Sven's actual, well, not actual, but in his Twitter account.
I believe we did also cover something along these lines as well, because it's like, we may not have obviously covered what was said by this guy, but we did also kind of cover obviously the impact of Baldur's Gate on the community and how it seems to be eclipsing AAA titles because of its success and how well it actually does, not to mention the communication from the team to the community. And it's actually doing better than most AAA titles do that have billions of dollars thrown at it.
Exactly.
And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, him saying that it's bad in regard, like, he's not happy with the effect it's had on AAA titles, I would have to disagree. I don't think it's a bad thing about this kind of effect it's had on the AAA titles. I think AAA titles need a boot up the arse.
Oh no, that was the article saying, leaving little room for both AAA and indie releases. But yeah, so...
But indie games, I get. Obviously, I get in regards to that, but that's where indie games also have a chance to actually show they can actually do better than AAA games in regards to communication. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yes. Anyway, it sucks. Vinsky admitted there's a game called Stray Gods, and they were affected. They had to move their release date as a result of us. It was this cascading effect, right? It would really have been much better if we all knew if we would all know each other's release dates up front, because there's always that secrecy around them. I think there's room for a lot of games, but you don't want them to come out at the same moment in time. You need to try and get a little bit of wiggle room, and it's hard because it's oversaturated in games. So yeah, I'm well aware that is the case, and I apologize. Actually, it happened to us, so I know exactly how that feels. Vinsky also articulated why he wasn't in a rush to grow Larian Studios in the same way that other comparable developers have in recent years. I have expressed a strong desire to the teams not to grow, he said. The teams have told me in extreme detail why we needed to grow, so there's that fight going on right now. I'm actually the one that is trying to hold it back, and they have legitimate reasons why they want to grow it, because they have ambitions they need to achieve, so we're trying to keep it sane. And it's a very short article, but I do understand where he's coming from, because at the end of the day, how many games do we know that have meant to have had the same date release dates? At least he's acknowledging it, and has said there was this game and they were genuinely affected, and they had to literally move their release date because of it.
I'll say this though, because I'm looking at Stray Gods. Not gonna lie, yes, obviously that I can see how that was something affected, but Stray Gods, not gonna lie, is actually a pretty good looking game. I'm looking at it right. Yeah. I've been looking at it right now, and it's one of my games to get. Because it's actually a role playing musical.
Oh. I think that's the one you showed me at one point, wasn't it?
Because it had because it has one of my favorite voice actors in it, and she belts out some songs in it, and depending on some of your choices, will actually change the lyrics. Which is completely different from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Also, just FYI, I've just because I've just booted up my PlayStation. Currently on the PlayStation Store, Fallout 4 is on offer for $3.99.
Nice.
That's fucking dirt cheap, not gonna lie. But yeah, no, I get obviously that effect, and unfortunately, that is unfortunately, even though he finds it sucks, but it is the nature of the beast. Some games, unfortunately, do get caught up in the tide of a very, very, very popular game.
Yes.
There was another game that came out like many years ago that actually, for me, I actually enjoyed more than Overwatch, but unfortunately didn't get a chance to play as much because not many people showed interest in it. Battleborn. Now, that actually did everything, in a sense, right. It had a multiplayer. It had a competitive multiplayer. But it also had a PvE. And the PvE, and it was actually a legit story. And unfortunately, because of the time, it literally released about a month before Overwatch, the original one, did. And unfortunately, it suffered, and they folded about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
The game closed its service. I actually still have the physical disc. And it's a shame. But unfortunately, this is the kind of market. It's like, you can easily try and work out everyone's like release dates. But at the same time, you can't try and balance around other people. Because you're competing. And it's sad, obviously. I get what he's saying. But I personally feel if Battleborn had come out, if they had waited a little bit longer, give it like maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 months down the line, after Overwatch 1's release, they would actually probably be done better. Some of the games that have actually come out like long after Fortnite did, they're actually still going right now, like Paladins. That game's still going, and it's actually still not too bad, actually. But the thing is, they've not actually promised stuff, and they're not delivered.
Yeah.
So, in regards of studios knowing when other studios are releasing their games, yeah, you could easily go ahead and try and, figure out what studio's doing this, what studio's doing that. We must find out so we don't actually step on people's toes. Here's the thing. You can worry about trying to step on other people's toes, but they won't think twice about stepping on yours. Because guarantee, some AAA titles that unfortunately didn't do as well as a result because of Baldur's Gate 3, guarantee, the suits, they're cursing your name. Because they didn't make the money they thought they were gonna. They're cursing your name. Cold? Yes. Facts? It's just the nature of business, unfortunately. And gone are the days where game companies were competing in a fun manner. The fact that Baldur's Gate 3 has done as well as it has is a shock to me, considering some of the reviews I was seeing for the beta.
Yeah.
And suffice to say, they were not exactly good. But that again also proves how much they've grown throughout the beta. They actually, instead of just release the beta and then just take little things and just tweak here and there, they actually took what they learnt from the beta and people's responses, improved on it, released it, and have continued to improve it because they're actually paying attention. It's not a case of Baldur's Gate 3, like its release took over. It's a case of the communities and the creators working together. That's why it's succeeded and why it's eclipsed others. Because they did something that people have been wanting from devs for the past few years. And it couldn't have come at a perfect time considering the likes of, saying their name again because it's literally the perfect example, Activision Blizzard. How it felt they weren't listening to their community.
Yeah.
When they used to. And now a studio comes out releasing this very impressive game and then listening to the community and actually improving the game every single day. To the point where at one point I saw one hotfix pop out, 3 days later, a new hotfix pops out. That's the difference on why Baldur's Gate actually succeeded. Because they listened. Baldur's Gate 3 is the gamer's game. Because they listened to the gamers and have improved it for the gamers. That, I think, is the difference. Do you agree?
Yeah.
As an avid player.
No, I see where you're coming from, but like I said, I also see where Sven Vinsky's coming from. Like, he's actually acknowledging that.
Yeah.
You know, okay, yeah, like, you know, he did say, like, you know, I am sorry about that. But he did also make a valid point. Like, I understand that, there's reasons for the secrecy around release dates. But if we had some form of idea, we could all work together. And I think it's more, more, at least in my opinion, more in the uplifting of, let's support each other.
Yeah.
Let's hype each other sort of way, not a condescending way. Obviously, I know you don't mean it in the terms of what he's trying to say in your opinion by any means, just to clarify. But for me, it's more of I want to be able to uplift us all and support each other and hype each other up for the releases,
and that,
which I think that's a good take on it. I think
it is a good take. Unfortunately, it is a rather I hate to be the pessimist on this one,
but it just wouldn't work.
Unfortunately, it's too idealistic.
Yeah.
As it currently stands, the industry, if you would have run the business like that, you would not, unfortunately, survive. That is the unfortunate truth on that, and it is the pessimistic view. To be honest, I would love for there to be more companies that actually had that viewpoint and actually tried to employ that, to actually have that mindset. I would love for there to be more companies like that. But then again, also, if we had more companies like that, we might not actually have a Flopcast going. So, But at the same point, it's like that. It's a good thing, but also it'd be a bad thing, because then where would then be obviously hype each other up, but then where would then be the secrecy? Where would the hype end, and then where would be the falsehood? Like, you're hyping up this game, yet what you're releasing is better. So, is it actually a better game, or is this one actually better? It's like, that's where, unfortunately, it could backfire. Because businesses will always, unfortunately, look out for number one and money. Granted, there are a few, obviously a few exceptions to the rule, and I acknowledge those, and you guys are fucking awesome. But at the same time, you can't ignore the current state of things, and unfortunately how things will probably progress. So the best you can do, instead of worrying about these other businesses, worry about in-house
sort of thing.
And the community that you're building up. Worry about them and focus on them. Don't worry about other companies, because other companies will fucking talk shit about you. And technically this is just an analogy on basically the human race in general at this point. I know obviously a bit out of it, but the point still stands. People will talk shit about you behind your back, because guess what?
Don't I know it?
No idea what you're talking about. You can try and please everyone, but you're never going to accomplish it, because guess what? There's always going to be some sour puss out there that's going to hate you because you're trying to be nice to everyone. They're going to think, oh, you're just faking it so everyone will like you. There's always going to be someone out there that's going to want to try and outdo you or put you down. So a helpful soul will only go so far. Focus on yourself and improving yourself. Because when you improve yourself, those around you will then also begin to improve. in themselves, and then in turn those around them will also begin to improve, and vice versa. So it's sort of like a chain reaction.
Yep.
So yeah.
Thanks for the call out.
Wasn't actually a call out at that point, Damo. It was just a just.
No, I know, but it felt like it for a minute there. I'm like, yeah, taking into account my personal life, which we're not gonna get into, so don't worry.
No, it's just a general statement on how I kind of feel like as a human, as a species, we could actually improve. But that's just my thought process. So.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
for a moment.
Yeah. Hey, we usually get called out on Coffee Talk.
Yeah, that's true.
Or in some voice acting shit we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So is that it on that one?
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Now I've got one final one. It's a bit brief, but this one will kind of spark some thoughts. Now, I do have some of my own thoughts, but this one's more, not less to really discuss, more to give everyone that watches this and like us a bit of food for thought, so to speak. Now, Mike Ybarra, in claiming on Twitter to be a gamer through and through, formerly president of Blizzard Entertainment, VP of Microsoft, blah 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 blah, has said this on X back on the 11th. I've thought about this idea for a while. As a player, since I've been diving into single player games lately, when I beat a game, there are some that just leave me in awe of how amazing the experience is at the end of the game. And I've thought, I wish I could give those folks another $10 or $20 because it is worth more than the initial $70, and they didn't try to nickel and dime me every second. A few thoughts on that one. $70 or 60 quid for a game, basically. Yeah, it's already more. People are already not happy with the hike in prices for video games as it is. And the whole point of microtransactions is obviously essentially another form of tipping. But again, I digress until after I finish this bit. Games like HZD, GOW, RDR2, BG3, Elden Ring, etc. I know $70 is already a lot, but it's an option at the end of the game I wish I had at times. Some games are that special. I know most will dislike the idea. By the way, I realise we are tired of tipping in everything else, but I view this different from a pressure to tip type scenario many face and give feedback on. Now, in regards of giving more money to games that actually have come out with a £60/$70 price tag, I would question that, but then that would actually, whether I think it's right or not, I personally don't think it is right. If you felt that you want to give, if you feel in your heart of hearts that you wish to actually donate more to a company that has made something, then that would actually then be more of a case of you would have to speak to them, because then you would be classed as a type of possible investor. To my knowledge. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that, so if I am, apologies. But I do feel that given an option to tip in a video game would give people the wrong idea. And it's like, this is kind of where sites like Patreon and Kickstarter sort of like come into play. If you get what I mean. It's like, obviously Patreon and Kickstarter obviously have rather varying degrees of what is acceptable on the site nowadays. But is it right for $70 games to say, if you are happy with your experience here and you wish to actually give us some support, here's where you can donate.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends, really. Like,
Yeah.
for me, it would depend if I'm actually enjoying the game and I want to invest to see what else could be coming around. You know? Like, for more improvements, quality, like, mainly quality improvements, you know, the game, bug fixes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If it was an option and I was very much enjoying the game and wanted to donate something as little as, like, a couple of quid, maybe. But I also would not want to be forced into donating if I don't want to.
But this is also kind of where the other side of it can go. I believe the game was called A Day of Dragons. I think. Well, it was a dragon game. And it had a good Kickstarter. It had promising. But then it just outright disappeared. And from what I could see, they literally just up and ran. So, again, you could easily invest into like something, obviously hoping to see like more of the game down the line with improvements and stuff. But what's to stop them from just taking your money and moving on?
Exactly.
Obviously, I get being in awe of a game that's actually done extremely well, but at the same time, I do have to question the thought process of this guy, because not everyone like. I get, obviously, if you have the money to, then fair enough, obviously support people. But again, this is kind of where, are you wanting to support the company or the individuals that actually made the game, and are you actually, because there are some people that actually work on games that are also actually content creators outside of it. So, if you're wanting to actually support them, wouldn't it make sense to actually support the people behind the name rather than the name itself?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Do I think it's like a good idea? It depends on how it were to be presented. Because currently at the minute with paid DLCs, microtransactions, and various other bits like that seem to be starting to infect, and I use that term with emphasis, quite a few single-player games. With Baldur's Gate 3 actually being one of the first I've seen to actually not get infected with that.
Very happy about that.
There are obviously a couple of things obviously there, but they literally, to be honest, hold no meaning whatsoever. So I doubt even people will actually even think about those couple of things. But in regards of it, obviously this will be my final thought on it. As I said, it depends on how it's presented. But as a whole, I don't think it would be a good idea. Because if one game were to do that, what's to stop other games doing it and then it literally becoming the norm? Now, for AAA games, I don't think it would be a good idea. For indie games, possibly. But that's depending if the team behind it plan on making any more games or any more updates for said game. They would have to show me. They would basically have to show. If you go the process of donate, you would have to first then be granted access to see a roadmap on what they are planning. And how much they are close to it or what they might need. Because obviously it takes a bit to pay people what they do in the hours. Obviously, that some put in. Obviously, some stay after hours. Some obviously spend so much time away from their families making these games. And I support them 100% that put in the time and energy and lonely nights in regards to the very things we enjoy. But I also don't want to be taken for a complete fool by some suit thinking they can just make a few extra quick bucks by exploiting a game's success. So, again, let me know what you guys think on the matter. But I will ask Damo, what do you think?
Like I said, it genuinely, like you said as well, like, you know, it kind of depends on how it's done, you know, sort of situation as well, like the approach. But I don't think it should be a forced thing at all.
Alright. With that being said, folks, that's everything we got tonight. To my knowledge.
Yeah.
We have run quite over. But that's because we...
I was going to say, this is the beauty of the thin, like, flopcast, because, you know, we don't have to stick to doing 2 hours. Sometimes there's going to be times where it's going to be really short and only be, like, you know, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and other times it's going to be as long as this.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can only, I guess, not really apologize, because it also depends on how much news comes out, how much of it we want to talk about and give our opinions, you know, about it, like our little 2 pence of it. You know, so if you prefer longer ones, fair enough, we will try, but it's also dependent on the internet.
I would also actually say, in regards of this as well, longer ones, don't expect us to do that. There's a reason why I decided to take us from 2 hours to 1 hour, because then with 1 hour, this actually gives us more leeway to then actually possibly go over that, and we can then actually just go forward and actually talk.
Yeah.
We're not like trying to force ourselves to actually discuss something over the course of 2 hours. And that's kind of what I felt was possibly starting to become the growing issue at the time, and also with the lack of news coming out that wasn't just rinse and repeat as the same previous week. Which was at the time becoming a thing. Obviously now things are picking up, but as it stands, I can't see us returning to the original 2 hour limit.
No.
I could see us sticking to the 1 hour, and then if we go over, we go over. I personally enjoy when we actually go over, because it means we've had a lot to actually talk about, and we've actually... It's actually been for me, a very promising episode.
Yeah.
Because it then shows our thoughts on it and how genuine we personally feel, as well as various ideas, as well as possibly throwing ideas out to you guys as well. So I won't apologise for going over. Obviously, I know some people may have some other stuff that they want to do, and that's fair enough. But that's the beauty of the Flopcast. If you can't watch it all now, you can watch it over on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/CareStranger49. Segway. Yes, all that was for a segue. Yes, I'm a cheap slut, so sue me. But yeah, as always, Damo, thank you for joining me.
Anytime. Thanks for putting up with my espresso ass.
Yeah, well, you're always a welcome here, Damo, you know that.
I know, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. But with that being said, folks, we are going to be calling it there. Now let's have a goosey see who's around. Let me refresh the page. Beth Anime is on.
No.
You know, let's go. I believe she's doing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
No.
Severa's doing Dead by Daylight. Yuri's doing Dead Island 2. Star Rail, Flying New Vegas. Should we do Beth?
Yeah, why not?
Alright. Then, folks, here are the raid commands. Don't worry about this, YouTube. If you enjoyed this, though, viewers on YouTube, then obviously I hope you check out all the others that are in the playlist. For those of you watching here on Twitch, I will catch you all tomorrow for Armored Core. I believe I got it as that. The next episode of the Flopcast will be on the 6th of May. So we will see you guys on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, raise your pizzas high and say it with me. Stay chaotic and live for the challenge.
And live for the challenge. You will.
Bye.